Hello from a boat.
Hi, everyone. It's John and Izzy from Vietnam. We've had really a fantastic week and a half or so since we've checked in. Been a lot of places, done a lot of things. So maybe start with the travel update.
Okay, everyone, just warning, hang in there because this video might be a little bit longer than the normal ones. But that's because we have so many fun things to tell you and we have a little surprise at the end.
Yeah.
So hang in.
And there's a little background noise, so
because we're on a boat.
We're on a boat.
Okay, so last you talked to us, we were in Copenhagen.
Yep.
After Copenhagen, which was where we had the full moon party, we went to Koh Tao for 2 days.
Do you want to talk about the full moon party at all?
We didn't yet?
No.
Oh.
It was fun. It was fun.
What happens at the full moon party just stays there. That sounds like something bad happened. We just danced.
Cut that
out. Oh my god, cut that out.
We just danced. Let's do a quick recap. So we went out to the bar. We saw a really fun drag show. The power went out in the entire city, and then the streets flooded because it was raining so hard. And then the party moved to the beach.
And then we danced on the beach until 5 a.m. And then we took a taxi home, and then we saw the sunrise.
And Izzy did my makeup, or I guess like
makeup.
Yeah, I mean colored. You put color like fluorescent paint on yourself.
And I dumped glitter on his face in the dark.
When the power went out, there was like a glitter can next to us, and she's like, "Okay, hold still." And then she's like trying to shake the glitter on my face, and then the cap came off the glitter, and it just went.
So you can see the photo right here.
I looked like a mess, but it was fun, and it made for a funny story. So
okay, next.
I'm just gonna adjust this a little bit. Okay.
Next was Koh Tao.
Oh yeah.
Koh Tao was really low key.
Lovely. Chill.
We rented a bike. We drove to some beaches. We snorkeled. Oh wait, no, it wasn't. Oh my gosh, guys, this is really exciting. I totally forgot that this happened. Okay, so one of my goals in Thailand was to see a sea turtle because there's a boat. Pause. Okay, one of my goals in Thailand was to see a sea turtle because if you haven't caught on, I love animals like a lot. And we were snorkeling in this place called Shark Bay where the sea turtles apparently sometimes come, sometimes not. And we were snorkeling and it was all murky and you couldn't really see anything, and we were snorkeling, doop, doop, doop. And then me and John came up for air at one point, and it was so magical because like I really wanted to see a sea turtle, and I was like, John, I need to see a sea turtle. And then I was like, okay, if I were a sea turtle, where would I be? And I went back down in the water and I was like, I'd be right here. And then boom, a sea turtle appeared like right there, right in front of me,
like under us. It went like swam under us, and we're like,
yeah,
holy crap.
So then we followed the sea turtle for like
25 minutes.
That was loud. Okay, and then we followed the sea turtle for like 25 minutes. It was just on the bottom, and then it came up for air.
So this was straight in the eye.
Magical. So it swam up right by us, looked me in the eye, got some air, came down, looked at me. I was looking at it, went back up for air, came back down, looked at me. It was like magical.
Yeah.
And then it just went, went back to eating, and it was so good. So Koh Tao was awesome. Koh Tao actually means Turtle Island. Mm-hmm. So that was cool to see a turtle there.
And we went snorkeling the next day at this cool, I can't pronounce it, but the two islands with like two sandbars in between. We can show a picture.
That was really
it's incredible.
Cool. I wish we had photos underwater, but
yeah, the snorkeling was quite amazing there.
Yeah, there's this thing called the Japanese Garden, which was funny because John was like, "What's the garden? I don't get it." But it's basically just like, it's almost like Nemo, like how in Nemo there's like big towers of coral reefs, and the fish like live in them and swim in them, and it's like a little city. That's kind of what this place was. So it was really cool.
Yeah, so, super cool.
Not to cut it brief, but we will because there's a lot left. More. So then we went to Koh Samui.
Oh yeah, and we met. Thank you, Jen Sweeney, for introducing us to Corey and Penny, fellow North Dakotans.
They were lovely people.
Just lovely, lovely people. It was really fun to, I don't know, just kind of connect with people that knew our world and we knew theirs.
And they live in Thailand now, and so they brought us to like a bar that their friend owns. Okay, pause. Is this too loud?
No, I think we have our mics on. We're fine.
Okay, so then they brought us to a bar which was owned by their friends. So we were just like hanging out as a local. They ordered food. We all hung out. Then we went back to their villa.
Lovely
Villa. Like just each room faces the ocean where the sunrise is.
Yep.
And so every morning you just see the most beautiful sunrise from your bed. It was magical. It was a great last day in Thailand.
Yeah, for sure. And really, we've had some nice hostels, but that really, that was nice. Thank you, Corey and Penny. It was really lovely.
Okay, so then we got our visas approved to Vietnam like last minute.
Oh, yeah.
Which
note to self, get your visas before you get your flights.
And then we left Thailand and we flew to
Vietnam.
Hanoi, Vietnam. We got there and it was like
chaos. We landed late at night and it was like
it was overwhelming.
It's disorientating because we thought that like the scooters and the motorbikes were kind of like crazy in Thailand, but like Vietnam's next level. Oh my gosh,
crazy. So many. They just like you have to like walk across the street, but like
you could
there's
die.
no traffic rules, especially for pedestrians. So like there's hundreds of motorbikes and you just walk just like hope that they go around you,
and they will, but you have to be assertive and like confident otherwise. But if you hesitate, you're done.
Yeah,
we looked up the number of traffic deaths in Hanoi and it was like what, 6,000 or 3,000, something like that.
6,000 per year. And for just so you can understand, only 600 people die in New York City per year from traffic.
I think it was like 300. It was like 297 or something. I mean, it's just like very dramatic.
Very different. Mom and Dad, I made it safe.
We're fine. We're totally fine. Or just kind of, we're being cautious.
So then we had a pretty busy week booked in Vietnam. Mm-hmm. So we went to a coffee shop. We did one day to like work, get things organized, and then we headed on the Ha Giang Loop, which I thought was incredible, even though it was cloudy and we only saw about like half of the view. I don't know, but it was so fun. Like, so it's the Ha Giang Loop is this like mountainous road that goes through the North Vietnam. Like it goes like basically close to the Chinese border and then back down. And you have to go with a guide because it's like you can drive yourself, but it's like not recommended. And so you go with a guide and he's your scooter driver and you go for 3 days and 2 nights. You sleep on the trail and you just like go through the mountains. You see goats, you see dogs, you see views, you see China. Like it was really, really incredible. So like we're on the scooter for like 5 hours a day and I'm just sitting there like smiling the whole time, like ear to ear, because I'm like, I had the best time ever. It was so cool.
It was amazing. One of our homestays, I looked on Google Maps and I could see a grocery store in China, which I was like, oh my gosh, that's intense. But
it was beautiful.
It was,
and I have to brag because I got to ride with the leader, which so we were in a group of like 20 tourists, and then each one of us had our own driver. But my driver, and you had the same driver every day. My driver, his name was Sunny, spelled like Sandy, pronounced Sunday. Anyway, he was the leader and he spoke the most English, and so every single day he had to be first in the line. And so it was so cool because I got to like see all the views without other bikes in front of us. He spoke the most English, and so like I could point at something and be like, what's that? Or he would just like tell me about things as we were driving, and it was such a cool experience.
Yeah, it was really phenomenal. I mean, and the mountains are just like we both lived in the mountains, like we've experienced mountains, but these just had a different like essence to them
because they're old. They're like
ancient.
So like the mountains in North America, I mean, they're old, but like these mountains probably are like 1,000,000 years older. We
don't know all the exact geology
on that, but
you can tell like they've worn down a little bit. But they're dramatic, like the from valley floor to peak or whatever is just, there's a huge,
see a photo here.
Yeah, exactly. And then like they're just covered in lush greenery, and then with the clouds just kind of like obscuring some of the views. It was a really interesting and really a lovely way to explore a part of the country.
So cool. Yeah. And so we'd like go through little mountain towns, see locals. We ate with the locals. We had food that was literally grown like there in the mountains. It was so cool. And my favorite part though was the very last day. So we were like 30 minutes from being back where we started, and there was a landslide on the road that we were supposed to go on. And so we were sitting there, and I was talking to my tour guide, and like the road was blocked off, and they were like doing construction to like clean it off. And I asked Sunny, I was like, okay, so like how long do you think we'll be sitting here? And he was like, oh, well, they just said anywhere between 5 minutes and 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, and he was like, okay, but if we sit here for longer than 10 minutes, we're going to go the other route. But the other route is steeper, slippery, and more dangerous. So we're not trying to do that. And I was like, okay.
Okay.
So we sat there for 10 more minutes, and then he's like, all right, let's go. And so we all turn around, we go this other direction, and like the road doesn't, it like stops being a road. It's like a sidewalk through the mountains in the jungle. Crazy. So we go up, and then we get to this point, and then all the drivers are like, all right, get off the bikes, you guys have to walk. And I was like, okay. And it ended up being like about a mile, maybe a mile and a half.
Yeah.
It wasn't a bad walk, but anyway, so
that's kind of nice.
We had to get off because the roads were mud. It was like a mudslide.
Yeah.
The scooters, they were on them still, and they were literally sliding. They weren't even, the wheels weren't going. They were sliding down the mud. A few of them fell over. Like everyone was safe and everyone was okay, but like people were sliding, and it was so funny because we had like bags on our shoes.
Oh yeah.
And so we're in like plastic bags on this mud just sliding. When we started, we were up at the top, and Sunny parked his bike. He went into the jungle, grabbed a stick for me, and handed it to me so that I could walk down. It was so sweet. Nobody else got a stick, but I got a stick.
I think Sunny had a little crush.
No, he has a wife.
Tyler.
No.
You still have a crush.
Sunny has a wife and a daughter. He's just like a dad.
He is a dad. He was taking care of our sweet Izzy.
Yeah. And it was so funny.
It was funny. It was amazing. And it was funny that happened within like the last hour.
And we were in, sorry, I interrupted you, but
okay.
We were special. So Sunny's done this trip over 200 times, and he's only gone that way 3 times. And so like, it was kind of cool because like, obviously not everybody gets to do that. It was fun. And
also on top of that, we got our first like sleeper bus experience, which was really interesting. Yeah. Interesting way to travel. Yeah, that was, I don't even know how to describe it, so we'll just put a picture here. Yeah. It was like, think Harry Potter and the Night Bus. It was totally that.
And the drivers were the same, like in Harry Potter, how it's like
kind of abusive.
Like, we're here, get off, like abrasive, get on, abrasive.
Yeah, not abusive.
The drivers were the same way. It was really funny. But I would say I already said the highlight, so sorry, but this is a different highlight. So since you're on the tour for 3 days, 2 nights with the same people, and we had like a group of 20 people, you just start to chat and meet, and you introduce yourselves. And so we spent 3 days like getting to know these other people, and we like made some really good friends. Yeah, like really sweet people.
And like Izzy is just like a little social engineer, and has figured out how to like rally everyone. And so she actually convinced how many 10 people to join us on the experience that we're on now, which is the Ha Long Bay overnight cruise, which has been pretty magical. Ha Long Bay is this ancient geologic space that I think there's thousands of islands in this fairly dense. You can see many here, but we're on this large-ish boat that with like 20 other people, like a cruise boat.
Yeah. It was.
Yeah.
So back up, like. Sorry. So me and John had booked this tour for literally the day after we got back from Ha Long Loop, and so we were hanging out. We had like a big family dinner. I think you forgot that part. That was kind of cool. So like every single night on the Ha Long Loop tour, we had like big family dinners where we'd all just sit together and like talk and like share food. It was really cool. Like that was a really cool experience. And so then we started making friends, and I was like, well, we're going on this tour. And so we got a bunch of people to come. So the cool thing about this boat now that we are on now, there's only, I think, 15 total passengers. They could probably hold 50 passengers on this boat, but there's only 15, and there's literally like 15 staff members, so it's like a small group. We know 10 of them because they came with us, and so we just had like such a fun time yesterday.
Yeah.
The boat came out here. It was beautiful and sunny.
We went kayaking.
John showed off all of his diving tricks.
Yeah, so it's probably like it's a 3-story boat, so it's probably like 7.5 meters or so. And they're like allowed us to like jump off and do all sorts of stuff. So of course, I had to pull out my Speedo and, you know, pretend I was a athlete again.
Everybody
really
thought
fun.
he was so cool.
No, well, here's the thing. Everyone thinks Izzy is so cool. She's just like, you know, the cute American, which leads us to.
Oh, so last night?
Well, yeah. I mean, we've had just like.
Okay, wait. So then.
Okay. Yeah.
So then, this is the fun part. Is then last night everyone was like, well, really yes, the day before. Anyway, they were all like, Izzy, where are you guys going next? And we hadn't really figured it out. So then we kind of figured it out, and then we all kind of were just like, let's just keep traveling together. So now we booked a homestay. We booked the whole homestay. So it's going to be us in this bungalow with all of our new friends. And so maybe we'll explain them. So there's 2 girls from the Netherlands. Mm-hmm. There's 2 guys from Australia. There's a couple from Canada, and then there's a woman from the UK. And so we were chatting with them last night, and like, because we had 3 nights together, we like dove into like heart to heart with all these people, and like talked about just things that I bet some of them and me like haven't shared with other people. And it was just like such a wholesome moment, and it kind of helped us realize that like me and John travel great together. We have great conversations all the time. Like, it's fun. I have no complaints there. I would have been content if it was just me and him the whole time. But having that extra social connection has been so meaningful. And like, I know you have some things to say about that.
I mean, I think we all come to travel and move around for different reasons. I think there's probably a baseline bit of soul searching that's occurring. And it's fun to kind of connect on those levels. I think there's been a lot of people that have gone through heartbreak and relationships and, you know, trying to find themselves a little bit, which I can definitely relate to.
And we were all diving into it last night. It was so sweet.
Yeah. And so in the newsletter this week, I feature a piece of content called Live to 100, The Secrets of Blue Zones, which talks about there's this National Geographic explorer who has dove into these places called blue zones where there are the highest density of centenarians, which are people who have lived over 100 years old. And he tries to like crack the code and like figure out how and why like people in these locales live longer than everyone else. And I'll kind of summarize that in the newsletter a little bit. But like one of the pieces that he talks about is like connection, is like to self, to others, to like a higher something. And I think it really like aligns with my intention for this trip, and also for kind of producing and publishing some of this content, is like, none of us know the answers or secrets of the universe, but like one thing we do know is that we can lean into the people and connection around us and like find the beauty in that.
And sometimes like you don't even have to know people that well, like to just build like a genuine human connection.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
And I actually came across this concept this week called authentic relating. It was recommended to me by someone, and I'm excited to dig into it a little bit, because it's a framework to basically like, okay, how do we kind of like cut past like this surface level conversation and like really meet in like a true authentic relational way. Mm-hmm. And I'm excited to learn more about it, because I feel like, I don't know, I mean I think there's some like conditioning as like a Midwesterner to be like, you know, a little guarded, a little, you know, maybe not vulnerable, a little like whatever. And I definitely, as like a man, I think there's, you know, we're coached to maybe not show emotion, not be vulnerable, but it's like, what's the point if like we can't express our vulnerability and like connect with others? So,
and I think why that's so interesting is because like right now, especially younger generation, you know, we're on our phones, the connection piece just isn't there.
Yeah.
Which, so last night I kind of feel bad because we all 9 of us like knew each other, and then there's a few other people on this boat and they didn't know, so it almost kind of became like 2 groups, but they do seem vastly different groups. So the other group is
they're looking for different things.
They're just looking for different things. So they were like, you know, partying and like
ready to go.
And it was interesting because I was watching them, and a lot of them were like on their phones or not quite having the same type of conversations. Whereas like last night, like when we were talking, nobody was on their phones. Like nobody even like looked at their phones. Like we were also invested in listening to each other and like building authentic connection. It's so cool. Yeah. And the other thing is a plant-based diet. So y'all should be a vegetarian.
Seriously? Okay. I really cannot recommend this show enough. I think everyone should watch it. Take what resonates and like integrate in your life. But like, it talks about increasing your lifespan from like 3 to 13 years, and it's just, I don't know. There's some really simple things that you can kind of build into your life, like walking, movement, just natural things that are like easy things to do, hard habits to create, but like well worth it. So please do it. I want everyone to live to be 100. So just integrate some of this stuff.
Okay, so to end the segment.
Well, I want to say, what are you looking forward to?
I have no clue. This has been so fun. We just like don't know what we're doing next.
Well, I'm really looking forward to like finding a spot and chilling for a little bit. We've kind of been on the run.
Yeah.
And we have some catch up to do. Sorry, Paul. I have some things to owe you. But yeah, I'm excited to kind of sit and experience this spot instead of doing some of the like touristy things. Like really kind of see what a local spot's like. But anyway.
So stick with us because now we're going to introduce all of our friends, and they're all from different countries, so it's really interesting, and they're going to tell us what they think about Americans. Just for funsies.
Because we find that they're
like very fascinated.
We find people are very fascinated by Americans, and so I'm kind of like, yes, America's great, but y'all are equally as fascinating. So, here, enjoy. This is what they have to say. So,
all right, see you next time.
Mwah. Bye.
Okay, hi, Americans. My name is Kato. I'm from the Netherlands, and I'm a French model. And so I thought, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I thought Americans were a little dumb. I met one who thought that China was in Vietnam, but then I met John and Izzy, and they made it all better. They're really smart and charming. So honestly, what do I think of Americans right now? I think they're pretty cool. Yes, thank you. That was it.
Vanna, I'm from Canada, Vancouver, Canada. Americans, so far, all I can think of is Donald Trump. Bad answer. Freedom and eagles.
Okay, hey, I'm Yasmin. I'm from England, and what do I think about Americans? Everything's just big. America's huge. Americans, the ones I've met, are super friendly, very enthusiastic, and yeah, nice. But I'm sure there's parts of it that are a bit sketchy. But hey, that's all countries.
Hi, I'm Brady. I'm from Vancouver, Canada, and I think Americans are pretty cool. All the ones I've met, at least.
Okay, my name is Lotte. I'm from Holland, or the Netherlands, and I think America has really good professional divers. That's it. Just
No.
Bye.
All right. Well, I'm Spencer. I'm from Melbourne, Australia. General perception of Americans is that they're arrogant and freedom-loving, but Johnny and Izzy have changed my perception of that. They are lovely people. So there you go.
My name is Matthew. I'm from Australia, Melbourne. General perception of the US is lovely people generally, too many guns, politics needs to calm the down. Yeah, it's great.